This girl is about to face a night she'll never forget, and she doesn't even see it coming. Julia, the daughter of a high-ranking military officer, spends her school day reminiscing about her late mother and how isolated she feels, even with her father still in her life. While her teacher discusses a rare meteor shower expected to light up the night sky, a classmate named Google, clearly smitten with Julia, keeps trying to help her with the lesson. She doesn't seem interested. After class, Julia asks her father, Colonel Valentin Lebedev, if she can go out to see the meteor shower. He refuses, insisting it's not safe. Unwilling to be told no, she calls her bold boyfriend Tyoma, who persuades her to sneak out for the event. After all, it's a once-in-a-lifetime sight. Later, Tyoma picks her up, and they join a rooftop crowd waiting to watch the skies. Julia reconnects with her best friend Svetlana, but before long, she and Tyoma sneak off to spend time together at Svetlana's apartment, leaving her friend alone on the roof. Far above Earth, an unidentified spacecraft moves silently through the solar system, until a stray meteor smashes into it, sending the vessel hurtling toward Earth. Julia has no idea that what began as a night of wonder is about to spiral into chaos. The military detects something strange on their radar, an object speeding toward Earth. When it fails to respond, they fire missiles. The impact slows it down, but not enough. It crashes directly into the city. The aftermath is devastating. Buildings collapse, roads crack open, and Svetlana's apartment is among the first destroyed. Colonel Lebedev, along with senior official Mikoskin, leads a group of soldiers to the crash site. There, they come face to face with something they never expected, an alien presence. Though it communicates in an unknown language, it's clear the being understands them. While some leaders push for immediate action, Colonel Lev proposes a different path. Let them repair their ship, as long as no one interferes. Not everyone supports this plan, and history has shown that people don't always handle unexpected visitors well. Julia wakes to a nightmare. Her best friend is gone. The city is in ruins. Her father is leading efforts at the crash site. The media confirms what she already senses. An alien species is being kept inside a secure zone, and things are far from settled. After leaving the hospital, she grieves for Svetlana, then goes to stay with her grandmother. Somehow, school continues. The topic? Life beyond Earth. The teacher is enthusiastic. The students? Not so much. Many have lost loved ones and are full of frustration. To them, the military isn't doing enough. Julia decides to take action. She secretly takes her father's weapon and meets Tyoma and his crew. They're planning an online campaign against the newcomers, but Julia wants more than words. She convinces them to sneak into the secured zone using an old processing plant. Once inside, the group splits up. Tyoma and his crew find a strange alien object embedded in a rooftop. Julia, ignoring Tyoma's warnings, heads to what's left of Svetlana's apartment. That's when she sees something impossible, an alien. Startled, she nearly falls, but the creature catches her and tries to communicate. Just as she begins to wonder if she's been wrong, Tyoma and his group arrive, weapons ready. They open fire. The creature slips and falls. The situation deteriorates. They approach the injured being and make a surprising discovery. The alien bleeds like a human. But what's under the exosuit is even more astonishing, a being that looks very much like them. Julia sees the injured figure but walks away. The group escapes with the alien suit and a strange device. That night, sleep won't come for Julia. Overcome with guilt, she returns and rescues the alien, hiding him in her car. The next day, she reaches out to Google, the one classmate with medical knowledge. She explains that the alien saved her and now needs help. Google examines the creature. Its biology is unsettlingly close to human, but it's lost too much blood. A transfusion is needed, and Julia is a match. She donates. It works. The alien wakes up. He grabs her wrist and transfers a strange bracelet to her. At first, she thinks nothing of it, until she sees the bracelet pull water toward her in the bathroom. It responds to her. Meanwhile, the military recovers the stolen suit. Colonel Lebedev realizes it isn't just advanced, it also manipulates water. Elsewhere, a fisherman watches in disbelief as a nearby body of water vanishes. Researchers make a discovery. The spacecraft isn't dormant. It's repairing itself by draining nearby water sources. Already, a third of the damage is gone. The alien finally speaks, and in Russian. He introduces himself as honorable. He says he's looking for something called the shoal. Without it, he can't return home. But he doesn't get far before patrol officers detain him. At the same time, Tyoma and his crew examine the exosuit. It fits a human perfectly. One of them activates it by accident, sending the group into a panic. Tyoma decides to return the suit to Colonel Lev, but gets caught in a protest over water shortages. Trying to calm the crowd, he's arrested. Back at the station, Han's interrogation grows tense when officers discover he has no fingerprints. Julia arrives to help, but runs into Tyoma, who isn't happy to see her siding with the outsider. Julia has a new plan. She decides to bring Han to her father. When that fails, she pretends to be pregnant to force a private meeting. It works. Her father agrees to see her. During the visit, Julia discreetly gives Han her father's access card. Now equipped with clearance, Han disguises himself and sneaks into the lab. He retrieves the shoal from the alien artifact, but his presence doesn't go unnoticed. The scientists quickly realize he isn't who he claims to be. Within moments, alarms begin sounding throughout the facility. Hikon somehow finds his way back to Julia, and before the situation escalates, Colonel Lebedev orders his men to take them home. Meanwhile, Tyoma is finally released and wastes no time rallying his friends for a massive protest. They modify their cars with improvised weapons and arm themselves with bats. With everything ready, Tyoma calls Julia, apologizing and pleading for her to join the movement. But she firmly tells him she's with Hikon now. He needs to return the Shilk to the ship, but due to the heavy military presence around the crash site, they have to wait until midnight to make any move. For now, Julia brings Hikon home and introduces him to her sick dog. Without hesitation, Hikon places the Shilk on the animal. Miraculously, the dog recovers, going from weak and frail to full of energy. Later, during dinner, Julia sees a news report. Hikon is now considered a fugitive by the military. As she's processing this, her father's convoy pulls up outside. There's no time to argue or pack. They escape. While fleeing, Hikon casually warns her that smoking is bad for her health. Meanwhile, the anti-alien movement is gaining momentum. A viral video portrays the aliens as a threat, urging people to defend the Earth. It turns out Tyoma and his crew are behind the video, using social media to spread fear and incite chaos. Julia and Hikon stop by a friend's house to grab some clothes, then head to a concert, one of the few places Colonel Lebedev wouldn't expect them to be. In the middle of the crowd, Hikon takes Julia's hand and gives her a vision of his home world. He warns her that if people get too close to the alien ship, its AI, Sol, will destroy it to keep its technology safe. Unfortunately, one of Tyoma's friends sees them and spreads the word. Jealous and furious, Tyoma becomes enraged. After the concert, Julia hides Hikon and guides him through an abandoned building to get him back to the ship. Just when things seem to be falling into place, the moment becomes personal. They share a kiss, and Julia finally admits how she feels. But their moment is cut short when Tyoma and his gang ambush them. They attack Hikon viciously. When Tyoma slaps Julia, Hikon fights back, easily overpowering the group. Things take a tragic turn when one of Tyoma's friends fires a weapon and accidentally hits their own friend, Rulin. Panic sets in. Tyoma and his group flee just as security forces arrive. But instead of taking responsibility, Tyoma spreads the lie that the alien was responsible. The misinformation spreads quickly, fueling fear and anger. Chants rise among the crowd, calling for action. The military maintains a defensive stance, but Tyoma's mob pushes forward, breaking through the barricades, determined to reach the ship. Armed with a stolen exosuit, Tyoma charges in, ready to shift the outcome in his favor. The ship, sensing the threat, deploys its own protectors in advanced gear. The tide of battle begins to change. At the military base, Julia confronts her father and reveals that Hikon isn't human. She stands her ground, even threatening extreme measures if he refuses to listen. She insists the real priority is getting Hikon back to his ship. Without delay, they race to the crash site. Tyoma, now inside the alien suit, intercepts them and crashes into their car, knocking Julia out. Hikon is forced into a fight. It's brutal, and Tyoma starts to win. Just when all hope seems lost, Julia regains consciousness and drives into the suit, severing its arm and ejecting Tyoma. Desperate, Tyoma grabs a weapon and opens fire, striking both Julia and Hikon. Colonel Lebedev, witnessing the aftermath, immediately orders Tyoma's arrest. The tide shifts. The aliens and military begin working together to save those who are hurt. Inside the ship, Julia and Hikon are placed in a healing pod. Lebedev speaks with Sol, the ship's intelligence system, and learns that Earth is classified as a hostile environment. But Hikon sees potential in humanity. Sol acknowledges Julia's actions and her love for Hikon as evidence that humans can change. Moments later, Julia is revived. The ship prepares to depart, releasing water as it lifts into the sky. In the final moments, Julia reflects on how someone from another world believed in the good of humanity more than people did themselves.